control barrier ownership. In this video, well control barrier ownership for employees are explained in the light of process safety. We will start by stating the case for process safety through giving historical examples of process safety incidents, then the concept of process safety is defined, justified. After that, the concept of well barriers and bow ties is explained and the expectations from its service providers is presented. Case for process safety. Piper Alpha, condolences are not enough. The world's worst offshore oil disaster, which claimed 167 lives. April 20th, 2010, the blowout of the Macondo well resulted in explosions and an uncontrollable fire on board the Deepwater Horizon. 11 people lost their lives, 17 were seriously injured, and 115 of the 126 on board evacuated. The Deepwater Horizon sank 36 hours later, and the Macondo well discharged hydrocarbons into the Gulf of Mexico for nearly 3 months before it was contained. 23rd of March 2005. Texas City Refinery. The Baker Report into the Texas City Refinery explosion. 15 fatalities, 170 injured. Investigation showed undue focus on slips, trips and falls and noted that design, hazard analysis, material verification, corrosion management, operational competence, equipment maintenance, alarm management, failure investigation, all play a part. The 20th of April 2010, BP Macondo, Deepwater Horizon, 11 fatalities. Fire burned for 36 hours before the rig sank. Well integrity failure, followed by a loss of hydrostatic control of the well to failure to control the flow from the well with the blowout preventer BOP equipment to release and subsequent ignition of hydrocarbons. Ultimately, BOP emergency functions failed to seal the well after the initial explosions. Does process safety mean for oil and gas wells? Wells process safety is about keeping the hydrocarbons in the pipe, the well or the reservoir. Why process safety? Process safety incidents are different than those of personal safety in that they don't have consequence management around them. So before talking about how we have approached this, it is perhaps useful to try and capture and describe what process safety is. Process safety is the management of hazards that can give rise to major industrial incidents involving release of energy and/or potentially dangerous materials. The following pyramid arranges the incidents in levels according to the severity. The bottom shows the lowest in severity and vice versa. It shows us how process safety incidents are distinctive from those of personal safety. The worst case scenario for a personal safety incident is fatality, while for process safety, it's a catastrophic event which could lead to multiple fatalities and loss in facilities. We look at process safety from 3 distinct but interlinked perspectives: design integrity, technical integrity, and operating integrity. All of these together are required to ensure that our assets are safe, and we know it, and we can show it. More than 50% of our effort in plant operation, maintenance, and engineering is addressing asset integrity monitoring, restoration, and improvements. To know our plant is safe, we must be honest with ourselves, recognize risk, and address improvements. We aim to understand our barriers to accident events and continually test their effectiveness through inspection, audit, review, incident follow-up, and effective change management. Design the well to ensure all basic process safety requirements are taken into consideration. All risks are well defined in the risk analysis when well design is reviewed. It incorporates all basic process requirements. Technical integrity equipment, example, blowout preventer. Wellhead equipment is technically qualified and good enough to withstand the basic process safety requirements. All risks are well defined in the risk assessment when the well design is reviewed. It incorporates all basic process requirements. Operating integrity come during drilling operations, example, operational process, having protocols and procedures to ensure safe operations. Ensuring operations adhere to the basic process safety, what they need to do to ensure that basic process safety is met. The think process safety elements are developed to improve understanding of wells process safety and enable wells staff and contractors to focus on key process safety checks and actions. Know it, live it. Tie and barrier ownership. What is a barrier? A risk control or a recovery measure that provides the means of preventing an incident or decreasing the consequences. It can be an equipment or a human intervention, and can also be a control on an escalation factor. What is a bow tie? A hazardous analysis tool in which the threats and consequences of a certain hazard are mapped and assessed in order to determine the necessary barriers. Our focus for this video is on the left side. The prevention, minimize likelihood side. The middle circle is the incident that we're trying to avoid, loss of well control. Barrier ownership. Know who is responsible for maintaining a world barrier. When an operation changes, always confirm the barriers. Discuss all changes in the status of barriers with your supervisor. Mud logger, never silence an alarm. Calibrate equipment regularly. Verified trip sheet. Investigate. Report discrepancies. Know your alarm parameters and set accordingly. Report cavings.
Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.